Hello everyone, this is Dr. Floyd. I am making this video to kind of review week 2 in class session for English 141. So if you missed that week, or even if you just want to review, this would be a good idea. This week in class we covered the idea of rhetorical appeals, how people make arguments effectively and appeal to their audiences. And this is important to us in this class. Rhetoric's in the title of the course. You're going to be doing a rhetorical analysis for writing project 2, and you're going to be hopefully using rhetorical appeals when you make your persuasive argument in writing project 3. So I just want to share with you this Google Slides with a lot of information. It'll help you with this week's hybrid activity as well. Okay. So rhetoric and rhetorical appeals. What do you think? This is what I told everybody that they should be able to do by the end of class was to be able to have a working definition of rhetoric, to be able to name the rhetorical appeals, and to be able to recognize them when you see or hear them in what somebody's doing or something that you look at. Okay, so what is rhetoric? What comes to mind when you hear the word? What does it make you think of? In class, various of your colleagues said things like we think of rhetorical questions, questions that are meant to make you think something but not necessarily be responded to, that they think of ways of communicating. Some people said they think of politicians or somebody using fancy or manipulative rhetoric. I'm trying to think of the top answers. Things like that. People basically could connect it to communication, but maybe not more specific than that. So what I want to look at here is a little video. To move it down if I can, but here's a video talking about what rhetoric is.
All those questions, all those parts of the nature of how right? Think about the offensive format or the rest of it.
Okay, very good. So, the keys in there to take away are the idea that when you start an analysis, you want to set up what is the rhetorical situation. Who is presenting or talking or writing to whom? Where did you find it? What's the situation in which this presentation takes place? Now, the next slides are about rhetorical appeals, and you may want to take some notes here. Consult your text writing matters in chapter 8 about page 144 and following for these ideas when you need to brush up on them, maybe on Sunday when you're doing your project. So we have logos. Logos is an appeal to the reader's logic. It's from the Latin for logic, or the Greek actually for logic. So you're appealing to somebody's sense of what makes sense, what's logical, intellectual. So it's going to be rational and consistent kind of evidence, strong, quantifiable, able to be put in numbers kind of evidence, facts, data, statistics, photographs, for instance. So what one might consider irrefutable proof. Here, look at the numbers. This is true. You can't deny it. You can manipulate it, but you might not be able to deny it. Photographs, you say you weren't at that big off-campus party at the viaduct, and then here's a picture of you there without your mask. So this is very straightforward kinds of evidence. I asked the class, where have you seen logos used during the pandemic? And they came up with things like the CDC charts and numbers and the rolling case count and death count that we see on the news all the time as examples of that. Okay, let's see. It's going to let us change slides. Next, ethos. That's from the Greek for ethics, but that can throw you off a little bit about what it means. It's about appealing to the reader's value of credibility. If you're trying to convince somebody of something, you need to assume that they value credibility, that they're going to need to hear how you are credible in terms of being able to write about this. Why should I listen to you on this topic? So it has to do with the author's credibility. Why is he or she qualified to write things? But it also has to do with, did the author consult any kind of experts, quote any scholarly, reliable research, establish credibility that way. Sometimes companies can create a sense of ethos just by their branding, because they're a respected company in that field, in that industry. Kind of the way that Harvard University in the world of higher ed immediately establishes a sense of credibility. Okay, the next one is pathos, and that's when you appeal to a reader's emotions. So you're stirring sympathy to establish agreement. You're giving images or ideas of happiness and then associating the happiness with your idea, your argument, your product if you're trying to sell something. This often relies on personal stories, anecdotes, and it can seem manipulative, so you have to use it carefully. You can't go overboard on throwing around the emotional appeal. Some people find that suspect. Okay. Oop. No. Sorry, screen went a little crazy there. See if it. All right, so here are some examples from commercials. And again, I realize you can't quite see the whole screen. We'll just watch a couple of commercials and it reviews the ethos, pathos logos fit.
Persuasive rhetoric can appear in a variety of media, from a high school debate to a bill. Regardless of the type of persuasive argument, the goal remains the same. Convince the audience of your point of view. Any persuasive argument, in this case, advertising, often approach this goal in similar ways. By making an emotional appeal, by building credibility and trust, and by using logic and reason. Greek philosopher Aristotle used three terms to describe his rhetorical strategy: pathos, ethos, and logos. Not every advertisement will use all three techniques, but most use a combination of these two to persuade products. The technique we'll look at is pathos. Pathos refers to an emotional appeal. An advertisement using pathos will attempt to provoke an emotional response from the consumer. Often, it's a positive emotion such as excitement, Snickers, head and shoulders, product called iHome, and even milk can add excitement to your life. And just look what kind of adrenaline rush you'll get on this. The promise of being attracted to the opposite sex is probably the most common use of pathos. Every even dancing young to be said.
Okay, we'll continue in part 2 of this video where I'll go over the hybrid assignment.